Every year, Australians lose almost $500 million to scams, and vehicle scams are becoming more and more common on platforms like Facebook Marketplace. So we decided to investigate how they work and actually try to buy a car to see what happens when the price is too good to be true.
Why are there so many ads of the same car on Facebook? Your Facebook ads were a scam. It's not.
No, you have to go to my website.
So I've transferred over $30,000 out to this account, and now I've got this emergency message from the bank, but the money is gone.
On this episode of Mighty Car Mods, we're talking car scams, what they are and how they work.
But not everything is always as it seems. Vehicle scams are often hosted on platforms like Facebook Marketplace, car sales and Gumtree, and there's two main categories of scams: fake sellers and fake buyers. Fake buyers are usually scammers who will pretend to be interested in your car and offer to buy it, usually with minimal questions and even without inspecting it at all. But there's one small issue. When they send you a message, they'll say they need some money to go towards either the insurance or the transportation of the car, and they will reimburse it in full when they pay for the car.
And that's key. They've got your money before you have any of theirs. They'll often also say maybe they work far away in a mine, they live interstate, they live overseas, and one of their relatives is going to be the person that's actually going to come and collect it.
Now, obviously, all of this stuff is just a way of trying to squeeze as much money from you in advance as possible. They have no intention of buying your car at all. And while it might seem like there's a lot of scams sitting around this space on the internet, the majority of scams are actually from fake sellers. Around 70% of the scams are fake sellers placing ads for cars that they don't actually own, which are usually listed at prices well below the market value.
Scammers will often request payment through third-party websites and will often provide fake or photoshopped images of transactions that never actually happened. You've also got to look out for odometer windbacks or cars that have been crashed and damaged.
Now, that is assuming that the cars that they are pretending to sell are even for sale at all. But in Australia, the cars that are most likely to be associated with scams are Toyota Hilux, Ford Ranger, Land Cruiser and the Mazda CX-5. But we've also seen a lot of these scams related to sales of smaller cars, specifically Hondas, Fiat Abarths and the newer BMW Mini Coopers. Which is interesting because that is exactly the car that I want to buy. You see, I own a classic Mini Cooper and I absolutely love it because I think it is one of the best cars ever made. In fact, I'm a fiend for the hot hatch. I've had pretty much every Golf imaginable. I've had an Up GTI, a couple of RS3s, and a Suzuki Swift Sport hatchback. But do you know how much interest I've ever had in the new BMW Minis? Zero. You know why? Too big, too fat, too modern, which is exactly why I'm going to buy one.
People that own those BMW Minis love them sick. They race them. They're 2-litre, they're turbo, they're 3-door, they're hatch and nuggety, and they handle excellent. And there's heaps of mods for them, which sounds like a good recipe.
Now, about 5 years ago, BMW did a life cycle update, so I gather it's kind of the epitome of what their version of the new Mini is. So that is what we're going to try and buy. So that is an MY21 LCI2 F56 3-door 2-litre Mini Cooper S. Let's try and not get scammed. That leads us to this, which is having a look at Facebook Marketplace and having a look at cars that are for sale. Now, you can probably see a couple of patterns emerge. So over here, we can see this particular Mini here is $36,900. Over here is another Mini, exactly the same photo. That one's $36,900 as well. And if we scroll down...
Same again.
Bingo, there's another one. Now look, this one here is the same thing, 2021 Mini Cooper, that's $46,000, dropped from $49,000, compared to the same car, which is $36,900. So already we're seeing a massive price discrepancy and we're seeing ads that look exactly the same. If we actually click into these...
But with different sellers.
With different sellers. Yeah. So here's one seller here. Over here we've got a different seller and a different seller and a different seller.
Same photos, exactly.
All of the photos are exactly the same, but the names of the people who are selling them are different. So what we've decided to do is message them all from different accounts and see which one of them, if any, are actually selling a car. The first step is to get a couple of mates and message all of the sellers.
Oh, dude, look, Honda Civic, $4,000. Bright yellow.
No, we're not doing Honda Civics.
So good. Wait, Honda?
You message?
Yeah. Oh, look at it, dude. Look.
Right.
I know.
It's the right colour.
How good's that?
Eventually, I managed to convince Marty to keep his eyes on the prize and message one of the sellers as well. I think what's going to happen then is they're going to write back and say, give me a deposit and I'll bring it to you. Is that what happens?
Sometimes, yeah. Some of the dealers work that way, or they want a deposit and they tell you that there's a lot of interest.
Oh, okay.
But all the interest is probably just us messaging them.
Yeah, okay.
But I went on car sales and had a look, and
Yes.
you said 2021 Mini Cooper S Classic Auto, right?
Yeah, they're like 50 grand.
24,990. That's half.
Yeah, that's a facelifted one.
It's a facelift. So
That's got to be a scam though. So we decided to call them and find out.
Oh, hi there. I'm calling about the Mini that's on car sales, the black one.
Yes, Black Mini I have.
And your price on here is 24,990. Is that like ready to go?
That is ready to go. It's on auction site, so you have to go on there and bid for it once you sign up.
Oh, so I can't buy the car from you for 24,990.
No, you have to go to my website and sign up and make the auction on the website over there.
All right. Okay, mate. I'll send you a message. Thank you very much.
So even though the car was advertised on a popular car sales website, it wasn't actually available for sale and we were being directed to a different website.
So I noticed that it's got a VIN plate, right? Now, if you go to, in Australia, we have a thing called a PPSR. So it's like a government thing. I think it costs $2, something like that.
And it tells you whether the car's like written off or stolen.
Yeah,
Or
so
something,
there's
right?
the only thing, and this is funnily enough about scams, there's also a lot of companies that will just do this search for you but take more money off you.
They'll charge you like $50, but they're only paying the $2 to the government.
And they
right?
rank it up in the Google search so that you think that's the one. But actually, it's a proper .gov.au thing. So $2 car search, you pump in your details, and away you go. So it says there's no security interest or other registration registered against the serial number. Security interest means someone may owe money on it, which means if you buy it, that means someone else actually still owns it.
And there's, well, let's go buy that then. If that's only $25,000, hold on. The one that we thought was a scam is 36,
And this is 25.
and that's 25.
But look at this.
So if there's no title on that,
View additional motor details. It's got the number plate,
It's
which
black.
may or may not match.
dude,
Black.
let's go to Queensland.
Rego expired.
While we're there, we can get tattoos.
It expired
you know,
2
we want
weeks
to get
ago.
chop fingers on our feet.
Yeah, but written off.
Oh,
So Queensland inspected, heavy panel damage on driver rear, passenger rear, heavy panel damage, impact engine, major mechanical damage, repairable write-off.
does his description actually say, by the way, this car has been like written off
What's it
in
say?
multiple states?
You will love these features. No, you know what? It doesn't have any, that I can see, it doesn't have any personal comments. You know, often it'll say personal comments like, oh, it was my first car and I got rid of it.
Yeah.
This just has the stock
The stuff
standard
that it brings in.
Yep, that it imports automatically.
It's worth noting that some auction sites and sellers are clearly legitimate, but in this case, the ad that we were looking at did not list that the car was written off, and that is a red flag. All right, so I have heard back from one of the sellers. Marty's heard
so
back
have
as
I.
well, and
Yep.
in fact, the other two boys have as well. I'm messaging the most expensive one, and I've asked if it's available. They've said, if you're interested, this car location is, and they've given an actual street address, which I'm really surprised at, because I didn't think if someone was trying to scam you, they'd give you an address.
That's right.
Doesn't mean it's their address or a real address, though.
This one said as well, are you interested? Yes, I'm interested. Dealership, do you want to have a look? Come and have a look quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, my one has a phone number and says, would you like inspection today? We're selling the car super quick, and this car, we have a lot of inquiries, and we only hold the car for deposit taken. So if you make it earlier, better. I'm going to ask for the VIN number.
The other thing you can look out for is dealer license numbers. So these guys say they're dealers. I think in the ad, like it's a legal thing, they actually have to have their dealer license number, and you can also check that number on government websites and make sure that they actually exist and see if the address matches. Because I've had it in the past where you've gone to buy a car, it's actually a dealer, but the dealer says, no, I'm selling my own car privately. It's not actually one from my dealership, but actually it is.
They've sent me a VIN number. So
Oh, cool.
let's do a VIN search and see what happens. I've done this PPSR check through the Australian government website, and it comes up, and sure enough, that VIN is current. It says that's a black sedan. There's registration until the 19th of November, and that it is a Mini Cooper, and it says end of 2020 compliance, not recorded as written off and not recorded as stolen. So that there is obviously attached to a real car that seems legit, but it still doesn't mean that that car is for sale, because surely you could just take any photo off Marketplace,
Yeah.
make your own listing,
Yeah,
put
exactly.
any VIN up and then say it's for sale.
It still doesn't explain why there's 5 or 6 or 7 different ads that are identical with different people who appear to be legit people, except for one of them with one Facebook friend. The rest of them look legit.
And one of them, though, says that he only started his account just now and has one friend and is selling this car.
That's weird. That's a red flag straight away.
I reckon what we do is have a look at... Mine has a motor dealer license number, so I'm going to look up that and see if that's actually legit, and then I'm going to do a Google image search and see what's at that address. I reckon it's going to be an apartment block and there'll be nothing there. Or it'll be like a takeaway shop or something, you know? Yeah, let's have a look. Okay, so I've just done a motor dealer's license search. Now, the number that's actually in the listing comes up at a motor dealer that's located in 5 Dock, but the message says that the car is in Artarmon. So far what we're seeing is multiple listings that are all using exactly the same photos. We're seeing a price that is like way below market price. And we're also seeing a motor dealer's license that doesn't match with what the car's location is. So it's feeling scammy so far. I'm going to have a look at Google Maps though and see what's actually at that address. People, I have just done a Google Street View and I have uncovered something that is about to blow your wormhole 14 Sherlocks away. Martin, look what I found. If I Street View this and I go into Google reviews and then I go to the review here, the first review is a photo.
Oh.
In that photo is the car.
That's the car.
That apparently is for sale.
Okay.
I now have a person saying they're at this address, a Google image from this address,
Yep.
and the car that's being sold by 5 different people.
4 reviews, 9 hours ago. Professional and helpful. 5 days ago. Good car, good price. I like it very much. He rated himself 5 stars, dude.
A week ago.
A week ago, and it says new. All the reviews are new. Why are they all new?
It seems sketchy, doesn't it?
It seems really sketchy.
Anyway, Martin, we've got an address, we've got a car, let's go. Hey, Martin, if that car... Why are you shaking your head?
I'm staying.
Dude, no, listen. I need your support in case it's dangerous.
look at that.
If that car is real, I'm going to buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's
a good price.
That
is a good price.
That would be the cheapest one in the country. And do you know what we need to do?
What?
What?
What do we need to do?
What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
That.
Dude, what's that?
That's a Civic.
Why are you
Look
looking
at
at a Civic?
I don't know. How good is it? I saw it on car sales.
Dude,
How good is that?
Martin, you have to come with me.
No,
what
I'm
if
gonna
it's
go look at
dangerous?
this. No, you'll be right. I'm going to go look at this.
Martin,
It's got good reviews. Don't worry.
dude, what if it's dangerous? I'm not joking.
No, it won't be dangerous. You'll be
What do
right.
you mean it won't be
It'll fine.
dangerous?
You'll be fine. Plus, I'm looking at a Civic. I'm in way more danger than you.
Dude, you got to be careful. Honda is like the highest scammy car thing, remember?
Yep. Go look at it.
Can you please come with me, Martin?
No, I got to look at the Civic.
We could be uncovering one of the biggest scam central things of the country. We could be dealing with illegal shit.
You reckon?
You reckon?
Do you reckon?
We know that minis are one of the highest scam ads.
Correct.
You got 5 or 6 people all selling the same thing with
That's
different
weird.
names and different
Really
phone
weird,
numbers.
yeah.
It costs less than anything else.
A lot less.
Now we've got someone saying, oh, lots of people are interested, which is actually just all of us.
Yes.
But they've given me an address and said to come down.
But their dealer address doesn't match that address. It matches a different place.
Exactly. That's
and
why
they're
it's
rating
dangerous.
themselves. Yeah, I got to look at the Civic.
Come on, dude. Will you come with me or not?
No.
Why not?
I got to look at the Civic.
So I just can't really get my head around what is going on. But on the world's best automotive investigative program, which is what you're on right now, we're going to find out, people, because we see a lot of this kind of stuff happening on Facebook Marketplace. Is there really a car there? Am I going to get scammed somehow? I'm not sure. So I'm going to go and find out. You're coming with me. And let's take a little look into the underbelly of Facebook Marketplace ads that appear to be scams.
I'm heading to the northern Sydney suburb of Artarmon, an industrial area about 12 kilometres away from the dealer licence address that was quoted with the car. It's an area full of high-end car dealerships for brands like Jaguar, Ferrari, Maserati and Audi, but I'm not heading to any of those.
I've arrived at a real car yard. Like, it's tiny, but it is a real car yard. There's a Porsche, there's a BMW, there's an Audi, there's a Lexus, there's a Maserati. It seems legit so far. Let's go have a look. Have you had it here for long? About a few weeks? Okay. So inside, it's got John Cooper Works seat. So it's a real car. That's a good start. It's got the updated interior there, all of the buttons there. It's an auto, gross, but that'll do. Do you know if the services are up to schedule?
Yes, the mini service.
The Mini service? Okay, from Mini, okay. All the services have been done as well, all the way up to 45, and it's done 40, and the service is carried out. Okay, it's all looking pretty good. You got lots of nice cars here, fancy cars. Hard to sell, yeah, because everybody's tight with money, yeah? Yeah. Gee, it's an ugly looking thing, isn't it? Feels pretty quick though. 2-litre turbo. Drive straight. Brakes are good. Wonder if it gets like wheel hop. No, that's actually better than a Golf GTI. It would have been going bah, 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 all the way up the street. You know, most people are asking for these ones around 40 grand. I think I'll just lowball and see what happens and see if it is actually a legitimate sale or not. Why are there so many ads of the same car on Facebook? You know, like different prices, different numbers.
Also, we go a few brokers, and send it a copy.
One says 2021, one says 20, one says $36,000, one says $38,000. Like the ads are all different. So I just had a chat with old mate, and it does look like a real dealership, I guess, unless I just end up transferring into some Phoenix account.
After some negotiating, we've agreed on a price of $32,000 ex GST, which makes this the cheapest example in the country by far, and $10,000 less than the next cheapest example in the state. He gives me some bank details, asks me to make a transfer, and then come back tomorrow. And that's when this happens. So I've transferred over $30,000 out to this account with the details that I was given. The money has left my account. And now I've got this emergency message from the bank that says there's some kind of discrepancy with the payee details. And if that's a problem, I need to call them immediately. This is not good. It's not good because the dealer says that he doesn't have the money, but the money is gone from my account. So if I don't have it, and he doesn't have it, where the is the money? So I've spoken with the bank and I've got some more information, and basically the issue appears to be that the bank account number is correct, but the name that is attached to that account is different on record as to the actual name that I put in. It's like there's two different names for some reason. And so the bank, seeing that there's a discrepancy there, I don't know if that's AI these days or if it's an actual human, I don't know how that works, but because there's a discrepancy in the names, they hold the payment. So I don't have it, dealer doesn't have it, bank is holding it, and then they give you 4 hours, assuming that it's like a scam or some fraudulent kind of transaction. They give you a 4-hour window. If you see that amount of money has left your account, you contact them and you cancel it. But if you do want the payment to go through, and in this case I do, there's no way of actually speeding it up. You just have to wait for the 4 hours. So that's what I got to do now. The next morning, I nervously grabbed an Uber back to the dealership, and when I arrived, sure enough, the money had landed, the car was there, and they'd had it detailed for me. So it was time to explain myself.
I thought that your Facebook ads were a scam because there were ad.
Yeah, different price.
Different price,
And they put the wrong year as well.
but not a scam.
It's not.
It's real.
It's real. And it's a really good offer.
So how do you do such a good price? Because I made this whole video, which is about Facebook scams. And in the video, I was like, I will buy a car from someone who's scamming. You're not scamming.
I'm not.
What is going on with all the different Facebook listings? How does it work?
Just because the economy changed, that's why we're trying to get rid of our old stock.
Yep.
So put like nearly zero profit on each car.
Yep.
Just want to get rid of them before the recession comes back.
But what about all the different Facebook ads? Are they real people?
Yeah, they're real people. They are my brokers.
So they're brokers.
They're my brokers
So
selling cars online.
how does that work?
They refer the customer to us, we pay them the brokerage, and customer buying the car, happy.
Oh, and so more people on Facebook means more reach. Is that why you do it?
Yes, because like one account only can reach a certain amount of people. When you have more accounts, you can reach more people. Yeah.
Okay. And it works.
It works.
Because I bought one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, babe.
Thank you, mate.
This man was polite, honest, professional, and communicated well. And also, if you're wondering what I'm doing here, he asked if I could help him set up his security cameras before I left, and I was only too happy to oblige. So it turns out that he has a few dealerships around Sydney, which explains the different dealer numbers because stock can move between the different locations. He engages brokers to help sell his cars in what is a tough market, and many of them copy and paste his photos and post them on their own Facebook profiles to increase the organic reach of the vehicles for sale, which is why there are duplicates. So now he has the money and I have the car, which means there's only one thing left that may crack this case, and that is the car itself.
Okay, so I've bought a car. It works. It was not a scam, which to me is very surprising. But it still doesn't totally explain the price. Like the car is $10,000 cheaper than other ones that are similar. So I think what I need to do now is just get the car totally checked and looked over. I think that is kind of the next part, because if it then mechanically comes back clear and there was nothing on any of the checks that I did, then it's actually a good buy. But it's still possible that when I go to get the car checked, there are significant issues with it. So that is what I need to do next. And so I think that will then be really the deciding factor of whether this car was too good to be true, or if there are still examples of cars that you can buy that are too good to be true. So we will find out, people.
I'm driving out to the northwestern Sydney suburb of Castle Hill, so this Mini can be inspected by some people who know more about these than me, because I know nothing about them. I'm heading to Eurowerke, who are experts on all things European automotive and are specialists in BMW servicing, repairs and performance tuning. This is one of the owners, Oscar, who along with his team helped me build one of Australia's fastest street trimmed Golf Rs. They're big BMW fans out here, and after explaining my story, Ozzy, who's one of the owners and also a BMW guru, is going to check the car inside and out, scan it to check for faults, and then inspect it on the hoist.
Tell me if I've been scammed or not.
Nice to have a look over it. Like visually looks okay. Looks pretty intact and neat. There's no panels out of the ordinary, so
Yeah.
that's a good start.
Colours look consistent. That was the first thing I looked for, like the
Yep.
blacks look consistent. I've never seen a car before that has this weird double latch before, like you got to pull it twice. And unlike the shit boxes that I normally buy, it doesn't smell.
Yeah.
Because normally the cars I buy smell like arse.
Everything looks okay from up top. There's nothing out of the ordinary here.
With the exterior and engine bay both passing, it's time to plug in a scan tool and check for any faults or errors that could point towards issues with the car. And that's when the screen turns red with errors. It turns out that many of these apparent faults relate to options not available on the Australian model, or they may have been activated during a service and not cleared. There is one legitimate fault, which is a heating element in the driver's side mirror, not something I need to worry about in Australia, but Aussie clears the codes, and then it's time to check for the most important one, which is airbag activations.
So we've gone into the airbag module and you can see the production date, the kilometres when programmed is all correlating. So it's programmed at 0 Ks when it was brand new.
Yep.
So you know it's the original airbag module. Hasn't been an accident, hasn't been replaced. So whenever these are in an accident, the airbags go off, the module has to be replaced at the same time. So you can see it's all original, so that's always a good sign.
So the airbags have not been activated, which points towards this car not having any significant accident damage. But the real test will be inspecting underneath on a hoist.
I'm scared now. Me looking underneath was just lying on the ground with an iPhone torch.
The moment of truth.
Yep. Here's where we see the weld marks right across the front.
Cut and shut marks. So far, so good.
It looks surprisingly
Clean.
like a car under here.
Yeah. If there was something wrong with the car, you'd be able to tell from here, like the bolts haven't been touched, nothing's been removed. like in terms of the subframe or the body of the car. So, mate, I think you got yourself a good deal. It's actually pretty good. There's no sort of odd weld marks or, like I said, no major bolts have been removed, so that's always good.
Yep.
You can usually sort of wear marks or anything on these bolts, but on the subframe, but
I'm kind of shocked in a
you're
way.
doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, more money for modifications is always a good thing.
It's a good starting point.
Normally, my thing is I buy the cheapest car in Australia. That is my thing. Like if you wanted to sell a car, it doesn't matter how bad it is. If it's the cheapest, I'll buy it.
Yeah, okay.
And so this was the cheapest. And so I just assumed it would be like the other cars that I buy, which smell like arse. They have very checkered histories.
A bit broken.
A little bit broken.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just looks shockingly clean down here.
It's pretty good.
I'm going to call that a success then.
That's a success, mate.
Awesome.
You didn't get scammed.
Thank you very much. I didn't get scammed. Massive thank you to Aussie and also Oscar, who's hiding over there from Eurowerke. Thank you very much for having me down.
And with that, this BMW Mini gets a certified clean bill of health.
So what seemed like the smelliest, scammiest scam ever actually turned out to be legit.
And that is the most shocking thing, because this whole video was about trying to find these scams. This here, though, ended up being totally legit. And not just that, the guy that I bought it from was super nice, polite, friendly, communicated really well. And when I went to pick up the car, he'd had it detailed. And then I thought, well, there must be something going on because of that price. Took it out to Eurowerke, had one of the mechanics go over it, and it's totally fine, legit and clean. So I actually don't know what we've learned now.
Well, I think also if your government has the database basically for cars, that's been set up in a lot of places to prevent those sort of things happening so that you have a layer of protection. In Australia, it costs $2.
Yeah.
Just to check it, make sure no one owes money on it, which is an important one. Check any major crash damage, which is another one of a car that might be too good to be true. It's got crash damage. We tick that off as well. I reckon that's money well spent.
And I think in America they call that Carfax. I mean, get those things checked. But here's the most important thing with scams. A lot of people are being led down a path. They don't know where it's going and they're transferring money because they're being rushed into it because the deal is too good to be true.
It's going to disappear.
Quick, you've got to grab it now. So they're trying to kind of get you to be kind of compelled to give them your money as quickly as possible. Do not transfer your money to anyone unless you fully trust that that process is legit, and you'll help by doing that if the person in the car is in front of you, you've seen ID, they're a dealer, but just transferring money on the internet and hoping you'll get a car out of it is probably not great.
And you're not going to get it back. There's not really a layer of protection there. It's not like tapping your Visa card, somewhere. It's different. You send that money away like on a Western Union or in a bank transfer, it's probably gone.
I think the thing that I've struggled with a bit making this video is that often people say, if a deal is too good to be true, it probably is. And probably it is, but not always.
Not always.
Not always,
No.
because sometimes people have certain life circumstances. They need to get rid of a car, they need to get rid of a house, they need to get rid of all sorts of things. But you get that by investigating, getting a rapport with the person, being decent, being friendly, and whether you're buying or whether you're selling, try and be honest. Don't play games, don't try and hide things. The world will be a better place if you can be honest, the seller or the buyer can be honest, and you can just kind of do a deal and hopefully everyone's happy.
Absolutely, and you can be happy, and there are bargains to be had. The last couple of cars we've got some pretty good deals. At the moment, it's a good time to be buying cars. Hard time to be selling them, but that's a whole nother story.
That's true. So there it is. What am I going to do now? Well, I'm going to spend a little bit of time driving it, getting to know it, obviously joining some mini Facebook groups and other things to work out what kind of mods and stuff we got to do. And then I reckon there'll be some track battles incoming.
This is still way cooler. Like, this is so cool. And so off its head and fast and all the noises.
It's not even close.
But maybe we'll understand.
I bought it to
Maybe.
try and understand. And if I don't understand, someone out there, I will put it up for sale. It'll be a legit ad and it'll probably have a bunch of mods on it. And then you can buy it. But at this stage, I'm going to keep it. And I'm going to keep that. We have analog, we have digital.
We do.
We have turbo, we have VTEC. Thank you very much for watching this video. Do not send your money to random people on the internet unless it's us and you're buying some Mighty Car Mods merch, and we will send you some mad stuff in the mail. Martin, thanks for coming along on this journey.
You can trust that we will.
We will.
You're welcome, man. Good
Thank
job.
you, Martin. We just walk off awkwardly now.
No, we go and get some food.
We should go and get some food.
Absolutely. I got you the best thing, dude. You should see it.
That car that you just bought absolutely stinks of
What a
smoke.
bargain, though.
No, what's the stink?
Cigarettes, durries.
Yeah.
I don't know, lung busters, cancer sticks, durries.
No, but there's a different smell in there.
Oh, bong smoke.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought so.